He says, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on client relations, retention, and aspects of upselling 3 to 6 months in. How do you get the most of your clients knowing that? Okay, this is a great question. Glad to have you. Great question. So guys, this is something that I'm going to give like the high level answer. There's some more granular stuff we can talk about later. So here's what I do. Again, I'm just giving you, this is from actual practical application, not just theory. So here's what I do. And I learned this the hard way because I've always, until the last year or two, I've always been the person that's always thinking about the next deal. As soon as I get the deal, the chase is over, right? I'm chasing. I get your credit card. I'm like, oh, it's over. That's how I always was, man. That's how I was when I was chasing girl. It's like, it's just a game. That was how I always felt. But I saw that this was affecting me. This is affecting my business because I was getting deals, and let's say I got 5 deals this month, then next month I go, and by the time I get my 7th deal of the 2 months, my first deal from last month's canceling because I'm not giving any attention. So I'm like, this is a bad issue. And I gotta put a plug in it. I gotta have good retention, low attrition, good retention. So here's what I started doing, and this is just high level. You can develop your own system. And Eugene, I know that we've been talking a little bit about this in our other chat, and we'll be talking about this when I see you next month. But here's what I do is during that first period, right? You close the deal, right? You close them. When you're sending the leads, you're courting them, you go, you close them, and boom. But that first deal, whether it's a month, 3 months, 6 months, okay? That is the time where they are the most likely to cancel. If they're going to cancel, it's going to be during that first or at the end of that first agreement, okay? Here's what I've learned. Once you listen to this really carefully, once you get people through that first trial and they sign that second contract, the retention goes through the freaking roof. Your chances of them leaving after they've signed that second agreement is very slim. And 99% of the clients that I get to that second contract stay with me for years and years and years, okay? So just know, just because you got the client, you're not safe yet. You're not out of the woods yet. And you never quite are because they could always potentially cancel. But once you get through that first one, they sign that second one, you're typically golden, okay? So what that means is you really got to make sure that first 3 months, 6 months, whatever contract you do, I recommend 6 unless it's a weird time of year and your 6-month mark's going to land you in the middle of December, which you want to make sure not to do that. And like, let's say it's July. You don't want to sign a 6-month contract that ends in December. You want to either do a 3-month or a 9-month. So you're not dying. The contract's not ending in the middle of the winter. Okay. And you guys should understand why we do that, because then the leads are going to be slower and whatever. We want to end on a good mark, right? We want to end on an up. Anyway, guys, so once you get that deal, that 3 to 6 months is so crucial. So here's what we started implementing when I started to see that clients were slowly trickling out because I wasn't giving the proper attention. When you only have 1 or 2 clients, it's really easy to just like shoot them a text or whatever because you need that client. But when you start getting 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, as you start to scale, this becomes more and more important. So what we would do is we just set up a really simple schedule. And I went to Francesca, who's my project manager. And if you guys don't have a Francesca or a project manager, then that's fine. You can do this yourself. But what we would do is we made a schedule that every single week, we would check in with them. Okay. Sometimes that was a text. Sometimes, more often than not, it was a phone call, just a quick phone call, make sure everything was good, whatever. We would do that 3 of the 4 weeks. We would check in. Okay. So let's say 1 text message or email and two phone calls. If you can do all phone calls, just make quick little phone calls. Okay. Checking in. We would do that every week. And then once a month, we would send them a report of all the leads that they had gotten, and we would schedule a Zoom to go over everything. And the reason why is because let's say that we sent them 20 leads, but they only got a hold of 9 of them or 11, and maybe you think that they're getting to them, but that there's something wrong with the way it's delivering, or the email's not getting to them, or they just don't understand those are coming from you. They're not, like, you got to catch that shit before you get to the end of the contract. So 3 of the 4 weeks, we would touch base, whether it was phone call, whatever. 1 of the weeks, usually at the end of the month, the first of the month, we would do a Zoom, go over the leads, ask them how many they got a hold of, point out, hey, we sent you 20. Why did you only get a hold of 11? Okay, Oh, you didn't answer the phone. Okay, so like, look, man, how can we help you? We need to make sure you're answering the phone, because if you don't answer the phone, then it's not going to be a lead, even though it is a lead, and then you're going to blame us. So how do we get you to answer all 20? Oh, you answered all 20, but only 10 scheduled. Do you have any recordings? Let's go listen to some of your recordings. Oh, your secretary, that doesn't like, oh, she's scaring them off. She's telling them whatever. You have to be digging in. You have to realize, like, guys, and I'm getting the second half of your question, Dean. These clients, you've done the hard part. Now, all you got to do is take care of them and expand. They will expand with you. You will take these clients and turn them into 2 sites, 3 sites. And some of you are going to get the right clients. They're going to have the vision, and they're going to have the hunger, and they're going to expand into these $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month clients, because they keep wanting to grow and grow and grow and grow. So my recommendation, touch base once a week with your clients during the first initial contract, 3 months or 6 months. Once a month, do a Zoom call, go over the leads. Now, oh, leads are slow. We only got them 8. Maybe on that Zoom call, you don't make the focus be about the number of leads. You make the focus be about, oh, how many jobs you close. You have to be strategic, right? If you only got them 6 leads, it was some weird month, whatever, something happened, your account got banned, whatever the case is, let's not just like, you don't want to just send them 6 leads and go, oh, sweet, right? You want to, okay, let's talk about like, how's business going? How many did you close? Like, you want to be strategic in what you do. Okay. Now, one last note on that. When we did these phone calls, these check-ins, we would always just have some reason to call them, right? Like, we would look at one of the leads and it would be some 800 number, and we would just call and say, hey, Joe, this is Nick. Yeah, I just wanted to check. I saw that specific lead. It was like a 1-800 number. Was that legit or was that spam? I wanted to mark it on my end just to double check. We're making sure, like, I wanted them to know I was on top of the ball, and I wanted them to know I cared. I wanted them to know I was taking care of them, watching their shit. I wasn't like, oh, set and forget. Okay. During that first contract, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, that is the time where you are going to earn their business for life. Okay. You have to be checking in with them. You have to be having those soft touches, and mainly, and most importantly, they have to be making money. Okay. So whatever you got to do, whether you got to do some training, whether you got to talk with their secretary, whatever it is you got to do, if they do not make money, they will cancel at some point, whether it's 3 months in, 6 months in, they will cancel at some point. Okay. So anyway, hope that answers your question, Dean.